Alright guys, I am trying to figure out how to work YouTube here, so bear with me. I've never actually tried to schedule a stream. I've got a chat with my patrons scheduled tomorrow, but I'm trying to also stream an event tonight, and I'm not sure. I'm trying to stream, but it keeps coming up as the chat with patrons that's actually scheduled for tomorrow. I don't do enough of these live streams. I really don't know how to operate the dashboard here in YouTube. Maybe I can delete this. Anyway, I'm eventually going to get this worked out though. We're going to come up with something. Okay. Now we get Ballistic Overkill. Alright guys, now I need to go back to the other stream. Hold on just a second. So there were several people hanging out over here. I need to tell them to come to the other stream.
Bonjour.
Okay. Yeah, I heard you. Who is that in the Discord chat?
Llama.
Llama. Alright. Hey, give me just a second, Llama. I'm struggling with YouTube. So I had a live stream scheduled for tomorrow morning, but I wanted to do a live stream tonight. And I scheduled an event to do tonight. But when I started streaming, it came up as my chat with patrons that I'm doing tomorrow. So I had people in the other stream waiting for me to start playing Ballistic Overkill, but instead it started chat with patrons, which isn't until tomorrow morning. So I don't know how to operate YouTube. I'm not going to lie. Especially the live streaming functionality in YouTube. I don't do that many live streams, so I really don't know how to schedule some of these events and how you plan multiple streams without, I guess, getting the streams crossed. Ghostbusters reference there.
Gotcha.
Alright, so it looks like a few of you guys actually found the stream, though. Let me see. Yeah, about 30 of you have made it in here. Alright, so it looks like... Let me mute my speakers here. Alright, Llama, do you have Ballistic Overkill?
I do not.
You do not? Okay. Well, I am going to be playing a little Ballistic Overkill tonight. Anybody that wants to join me in-game, feel free to do so. It is over on Steam. I'm not actually sure what the price for Ballistic Overkill is at the moment. When I purchased it about a year ago, I think I got it on sale for about $10, I think. So let me see. If I do a quick search, it's currently $11.99. So, and it's a great first-person shooter if you like first-person shooters. That's typically what I tend to play is first-person shooters because I'm kind of limited on time. I don't game that much, and first-person shooters are great. I just join a game, frag as many people as I can, and get out. So, yes, is this the right one, Mr. GFY? Yes, this is the right stream, guys. I do apologize. I just don't know how to use the new dashboard in YouTube and schedule the streams. So, yeah, Grayson says, that's cool, a stream within a stream. Yeah. We got the streams crossed, Mr. GFY. Alright. Yeah, just a warning about the Radeon 7. Mine was locking up in games. I've been gaming a little bit with my Radeon 7. This won't be the first time I've kind of gamed with it. I've had no issues with mine. Second monitor blinking on and off. Yeah, that sounds like an issue with maybe one of your ports. Matter of fact, that's what you mentioned here in your post. The HDMI port did not work with old monitors. It heated up to 94. Returned it for a Vega 64. No issues. Yeah, it sounds like you just got a bad card. And if it was a problem with the monitor coming on and off, yeah, that's definitely a bad port. I imagine. AMD's just going to replace that HDMI port in that card and resell it to somebody. Got my beverage this evening, some Newcastle. And I am going to go ahead and fire up Ballistic Overkill. I've played the game Ballistic Overkill on the stream many times. As a matter of fact, Rocco is in the chat waving. How you doing, Rocco? Played against Rocco many times. Actually played a little bit last week with a friend of the channel, Joe Panico. You guys know Joe. And he was testing out some new equipment, some new hardware for his computer. And of course, I've got a new computer. So we played for a good hour, hour and a half, me and Joe, about a week ago. And I've got Ballistic Overkill, like all the settings and everything, I think set to the highest settings, and I've had no problems playing Ballistic Overkill. You guys saw me do a live stream with 0 AD on all the highest settings, and I've played 0 AD a half a dozen times in the last 2 weeks with the Radeon 7, and it's been great too. Let's see. Got my aspirant class, I guess, is what I'm doing here. See, what are my options here? The Berserker, the Vanguard, the Wraith. Rocco loves the Wraith. It is a sniper. He has no honor. He likes to shoot you in the back from 1,000 miles away. And then you got the Shadow character, the Ninja. Also, no honor playing that character. The Grenadier, the Tank, and the Marksman. Typically, I think I played the Berserker. That's typically what I played. Let me cancel all of that. Let me go to the community servers and see what kind of server I can get into here. Actually, not much going on here tonight on Ballistic Overkill. Looks like North America East Coast Dedicated 11 is the only server that's really got any action. Let me join that one. Yeah, Rocco says he shoots me in the face. Well, in the back. Yeah. Matter of fact, when I was playing with Joe Panico last week, Rocco, we were talking about you while we were playing the game. We had played a game, and one of the guys was using his sniper the same way you do. He was, you know, about 3 stories up and just picking people off at random. And Joe made the comment that he was using the Rocco technique. Of course, I'm going to have to wait for a spot here in the game. There's already 12 people in the game, so I didn't get in the game. I'm in spectator. That's unfortunate. There was one server in South America that looked like it had some action going. Let's see. Browse servers. See how bad the ping is on the South American server. Well, if I can even get the server list to come up. Yeah, I've been at work all day, get home. I don't want to be up too late tonight. I just wanted to play some Ballistic Overkill. And this is what I get. An empty server list. I wish DT would play Dota 2. Not my kind of game. Super Tux card though, yeah. I could fire up some Super Tux. Why is the server list not coming up? Let me just quit. Relaunch it. Not sure why that's not coming up. Mr. GFY, RIP, rest in peace, yeah. We're not done yet, Mr. GFY. I mean, if all else fails, I've got Zonotic installed on the system. We can do a little free and open source software. Zonotic, great first-person shooter. Really like Zonotic. Heck, if all else fails and if there's a problem with the internet or something, I can always just play a little 0 AD tonight, but again, I wanted to stream a little bit too. You know, the servers can malfunction sometimes, apparently so. But now everything looks like it's working. Still nothing going on anywhere other than these top 2 servers. South America, dedicated 1. The ping is not too bad, 187. Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump in a game. Just to see if I remember how to play this. Alright, and my favorite loadout here is this third one with the AK and the shotgun. And the trick here is the AK is pretty good at distance. Not terribly long distances, but it's pretty good, you know, out to a couple hundred yards. Where the shotgun, of course, is up close and personal. So the trick is when somebody gets right on you, you know, use the mouse wheel to quickly switch to that shotgun and then let them have it with that. So, let's see if I remember how to run. Yes, it is the left shift key. Although I think I could do a setting where I run all the time if I wanted to. And the left control key crouches. I wanted to crouch. Now there's 8 people in this game. There they are. Alright, I'm ready to frag somebody. Come on, guys. Looks like they're all on the other side of the map. Looks like somebody's probably spawn camping, because that's where everybody's at, is one team spawn here. And somebody killed me already. I didn't even see them. They snuck up on me.
I'm ready!
Like I said, you get a lot of this, though, in this game. People with absolutely no honor. They just... You're not even looking, and then they kill you. The frame seems to be freezing from time to time. It looks good on my end. Not sure as far as the stream health on YouTube. I have a green in OBS. Looks like the stream health is alright. I don't notice anything weird as far as the graphics here on my monitor. Uh-oh. Well, somebody is trying to chat with me, or was that my fault? Just wanted to say, your YouTube videos are awesome. They taught me so much about Linux. Thank you, dude. I'm probably dead now, so... Alright. I don't know how to really use Steam either. I was talking about I don't know how to do much in YouTube as far as the YouTube dashboard. I didn't even know Steam had that kind of feature where somebody could just start chatting with you like that. Big Daddy is in the chat. Just get a shotgun and get right up on him. Wow, I blasted that guy with everything I had, and I don't know what that was. I hope that was a hack. I feel really bad. I mean, I shot that guy with a shotgun a half-dozen times at least. Nobody lives through that, unless they're hacking. Is this being played on the new rig? Yeah, this is my new machine. I don't even have the other machine plugged in. I took the 6-bay IC dock out of my old machine, and I've got it now in this machine. I did that a couple of nights ago, put all my drives back in this machine. But this is the Threadripper, the 1920X Threadripper, 12-core, 24-thread, the AMD 7 graphics card. The new operating system is Arco Linux B with the Awesome Window Manager, although I'm in Qtile right now, although I'm about to switch to Awesome, which is why I installed the Awesome edition. Matter of fact, I should actually check out the Arco Linux version of Awesome before I actually start hacking on it, because I'm going to, of course, put all my configs in, but we should check out what Eric Dubois and the Arco team do with their Awesome edition before I go ahead and start changing everything. I might do that in a few days on the channel. I can tell you, their Awesome Window Manager edition of Arco is fantastic. I mean, it looks good. Very sexy Linux distribution if you haven't checked it out.
I have eyes on target.
Where is everybody in this game? I can't even find anybody to kill. How many people are in this room? Everybody. We have a full crowd, including Big Daddy Linux is in here. Hey Rocco, if you're on Discord, you want to join me on my voice channel, on the DistroTube voice channel, we can chat. Yeah, that was a strange game, because I barely saw the other team. I don't know where the other team was. I only came across a couple of guys on the other team. You know, just several minutes just running around. Anyway, let's vote for a different map. So I like Team Deathmatch, is pretty cool. And this is a much better map here, the Corporate Park map. Corporate Park is pretty good if you want to be one of those unethical kind of players that uses the sniper and the ninja. So, I know you love this map, Rocco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this is Juggernaut too, so it'll just be one guy.
Yeah. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm gonna have to play with my Pulse Audio volume control for a second. If I can. I may not be able to. Not gonna let me change. Let's see if I can change it in Discord. Need to change some output settings here. If I know how to.
Discord always seems to give me static.
It does me a lot of the time. That actually is not today. It's doing okay. But the output device is not. It doesn't even give me the option to choose a different output device. You know what? I'm just going to roll with it. Whatever. It's just strange. I'm getting output from you, Rocco, through speakers.
From me?
Yeah, from the Discord, which it doesn't give me an option to send it to my USB audio interface, you know, to monitor it through that. It's strange. I don't know why that's the case. But I'm just going to have to go with it. Matter of fact, because there's no point in me wearing my... I'm sitting here wearing my earmuffs, my headphones. I'm going to take those things off because they get hot. No point in me wearing them if there's nothing coming through them. Thank you, Discord. Proprietary garbage.
Any better now?
It's not a problem with you. It's just a problem with the Discord audio video settings for output devices. It only gives me one option.
Right.
You know, I don't know where the other options disappeared because they used to be there. Like last week they were there. So.
Sucks to be you.
I hope not too much of this audio from my speakers bleeds through to the stream. You guys in the chat, if it sounds kind of bad, just let me know. I'll try to adjust the volume down just enough to where I can still hear Rocco, but maybe it won't be so annoying to you guys. Well, part of that is I haven't really used Discord much in the last 6 months, probably. I think I logged into Discord last week, of course, to talk to Joe Panico. I mentioned we had gamed a little bit last week, but other than that, it's probably been 6 months since I even logged into Discord. I walked right into you. Now, I was switching to the shotgun too, Rocco. Yeah.
Bogus.
I take it somebody got you.
Yeah,
Mr. Wolf.
You know it. Why, dude? Why is like audio still an issue in Linux now?
Yeah, and it's weird because, like I said, that's not an issue I've ever had in Discord. Like changing input and output. This program's usually pretty good about getting the input and output devices correct. And if they're not correct, you can change them. There I go, you know, in the settings, where to change the output device, and the only option is just your standard mic jack from the motherboard. So that's it. That's all we can do.
That there's only 2 servers alive right now. One of them playing.
Yeah. Give me just a second, Rocco. Since I have to use my computer speakers, I do have a set of cheap earbuds that I can plug into the speakers themselves. And that will solve that problem. Okay. Now I should be able to hear you. And
Can you hear me now?
Here I come.
So hopefully that sounds a little better for you guys watching the live stream.
Sorry, it was all my fault. I was messing it up.
You said that was your fault because you're using GNOME?
Yes, what? Exactly.
That's not really what you're using, I hope.
I'm not using GNOME. I'm using Pop OS.
You're using what?
Pop OS.
Ah, okay. So how in the hell? I can't kill that guy. One of the things I need to do too is the music volume or the sound effects here in the game are a little loud, probably for you guys listening to the stream. I'm going to turn some of that down. Yeah, so how's Pop OS treating you?
It's going really well. Only thing I find, and it doesn't usually happen in GNOME, but you're talking about audio output, when I plug in the headphones or take them out, it automatically switches to a different sound output, like a monitor output. Not sure why that's happening, but other than that, it's pretty good.
And yeah, and those of you that are watching the live stream, yeah, the sound settings are much better now. Yeah, I've tried to adjust some of the in-game audio. Well, I turned down some of the explosion effects because I know they're kind of loud, you guys, especially if you're listening on earbuds. Yeah, you're using GNOME and Arch Linux, says Grayson. Well, you're half right. I kid GNOME users. It's a fine desktop environment. You know, people take some of these things too seriously.
Right?
I make these comments, you know.
I have eyes on target.
Yeah, Paranoid is asking, am I playing on Windows or on Linux?
Let's do this.
I haven't owned a machine that ran Windows in about 11 or 12 years, so it's all Linux all the time for me.
I can't say the same, but
yeah,
this is definitely.
Yeah, and Hink is asking how's the new rig. The new rig has been great. Of course, the big upgrade, I mean, I upgraded everything, right? The GPU, the CPU, got, you know, more RAM, 32 gigs of RAM. And But of course, the big upgrade for me for the work I do was the fact that now I have a better GPU or a better CPU.
Yeah.
So. And I to test that out, the CPU especially, you know, things like video rendering, you really notice it improved times on that. And of course, virtualization. So one of the things I did last week, I checked out 1904. And by I say I checked out 1904, I downloaded 6 different editions of 1904. Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Xubuntu, Lubuntu, Budgie, and Mate. And I did all 6 at the same time on a video. I ran 6 VMs at the same time. Gave each VM 4 gigs of RAM. Gave each VM 2 cores of my CPU. Actually, 2 threads. 2 threads of my CPU. So 12 total. Plus I still had 12 going on the host machine while I recorded in OBS, of course. And you know what? In HTOP, the Threadripper never even struggled. I don't think it ever got above 30-40% CPU usage. So I didn't even tax it doing that. So yes, I love the new machine, those of you guys in the chat that are asking. I think if I ever go back to something really cheap, which is my typical thing is to buy cheap hardware, I'm going to be so disappointed. I probably spoiled myself now.
You did.
Yeah, because compile times now, you know, waiting an hour and a half for the big Linux kernel to compile, it would probably compile in 5 minutes with a Threadripper. Maybe less. I actually don't know what it would compile with on the 1920X.
Now you need to install Gen 2. See how long.
Well, that's what everybody said as soon as, you know, they found out I was getting a Threadripper, is install Gen 2, live in Gen 2. Which makes sense, because that's really the only hurdle most people complain about with Gen 2 is just the compile times suck really bad.
Yeah, but we've many times talked about that. I mean, right, like with your hardware, I don't believe that Gen 2 would offer you anything as far as like a speed boost because of the hardware.
I don't think it would either. Gen 2, where Gen 2 makes sense is if you have like some weird hardware. Like most Linux distributions don't support the 486 hardware anymore. I mean, they don't offer images that support that, but with Gen 2, you know, you can build Gen 2 to support such a machine. You know, some ancient machines like that. So, but yeah, for your everyday, typical desktop user, no, Gen 2 really is not going to offer you...
You missed.
Dang, the sniper... Yeah, I missed big time there.
I'm ready. I see them.
Gotcha. Oh, that wasn't you. It was a ninja.
No, you surely didn't get me.
Well, I know where you're at, though, Rocco. You're about 8 stories up. Let me see.
I have a spot that I'm at all the time on this.
Oh, we know that. It's been a while since I played against you, Rocco, but we know your strategy on this map. Yeah, somebody in the chat says I need to change the title of the stream. I titled it, I will frag all you fools. I need to retitle it, I'm gonna get fragged by all you fools. You know what, that's pretty good. I probably should change the title.
Enemy spotted.
And of course, I got fragged again. Maybe I should change to a different loadout. Well, let's try this one.
Let's do this.
This shotgun is the main weapon, but it's only a 6-shot shotgun, so you have to reload a lot. But the secondary layout is the dual-wielding machine pistols.
Hello, guys.
Joe.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Couldn't resist you guys.
You know, I figured you would show up at some point this evening, Joe.
Enemy spotted!
Man, I ran right into that grenade.
That's all right. I blew myself up. So, yeah, Grayson says you heard music in the game. Yeah, there's a like a dance club or something in the middle of the map, and when you walk in it, yeah, you get some kind of disco music going on.
I have eyes on target. Found it.
Uh-oh, Joe. It's not your fault that I killed you, Joe. I mean, you were engaged with that other guy. That was kind of cheap what I did there.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Oh. And Dr. Pong is in the chat. You're not wearing your hat on stream, as usual. My hat? I have never worn a hat.
I was going to say, you wore a hat? When did I miss that?
Like, even in real life, I mean, I don't wear baseball caps. I don't wear, you know, not going to catch me out on the town wearing a fedora or anything, you know. No berets or... So, this is another situation where I think somebody has confused me with another bald-headed white guy that does YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah, and Dr. Pong says, "Oh, it's Luke Smith." No, I'm not Luke Smith.
Wow.
You guys got jokes tonight in the chat. Can't you guys make fun of Rocco or... Rocco's here.
Nothing personal.
Okay, start with the hair jokes and then we'll be good.
Yeah.
Here I come.
Yeah, the only people who look cool while bald are Vin Diesel and Derek from DistroTube. Alright. And yeah, Jessica, I do look like Agent, what is it, Agent 47 or whatever from the Hitman games. Actually never played those games. Alright, this is a King of the Hill game too, and I'm not even trying to capture the other team's capture points. And I lost the capture point I was at.
FYI, Rocco, I've got Pop OS on my other drive.
Nice.
I'm actually liking it. I'm not on it right now, but I'm liking it.
I thought you guys were doing Lubuntu this week.
We are, but I got stuck in that rabbit hole of no Wi-Fi drivers, no internet connection, can't download Wi-Fi drivers. You know, that whole loop.
Oh yeah.
So
with Lubuntu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always liked Lubuntu to a point, but I wasn't overly impressed with it this last time. It seems like it's missing some things.
We have them.
Well, I actually think it's pretty decent. Especially been running KDE for the last couple months, and it's come a long way since I've used it last, as far as having the features in it. And like before, it was kind of like it didn't function right. Like you would open things and it wouldn't exactly open. And at least that was my experience. And this time it was pretty solid as far as functioning. So
yeah.
Let's do this.
I still didn't try. What I wanted to try was getting PC Man FM to kind of be like Dolphin, and I didn't get.
You know, what are you trying to get PC Man FM to do? Because I use PC Man FM a lot.
Well,
most of my instances.
There is no, like, obviously Dolphin lost the open as root thing, and I was trying to see if you could do that in PC Man FM. I guess you can open it through the console. It's not. There's no like.
But you want to switch while it's already open.
There's no context menu option to open this folder as root. I was hoping to get that working.
I would think there is a way to extend that with some kind of script,
Do this.
but I would have to look at it.
Well, I'm back on my GTX 760 again, just for the record.
I have eyes on target.
Sorry to hear that, Joe.
To be you.
Well, you know what? I think part of it is we know about the newbie mistake I made, but I also didn't realize I'm not going to change my motherboard. And the 590 I got, that card ran chilly cold. It was nice, but I was getting that same intermittent vibration coming out of it, and I finally put 2 and 2 together and realized that the back plate was literally right up against, or just within a micro hair of my audio ports in the motherboard, and the card had just enough weight that it would drop and it would cause a vibration.
Heads up! Frag out!
And I know that, you know, a lot of them, the motherboards, the PCI slots have metal sleeves on them to help support, and this one doesn't. So I'm noise sensitive to things. As much as I hate to say this, if I'm going to upgrade, I think I'm seriously looking at now a 1660 Ti. There's one that's very similar to the 1050 Ti I had in here.
I see them!
Gotcha.
But that 590, I think if I was to plan a new system with it, it would definitely be a nice card. And I would, you know, it was the power color one. I would definitely recommend that to anybody. That card ran like 31 degrees Celsius. Rocco, I forget, what do you have for a card in yours?
Well, I got the new machine, so I got a 2080.
Oh, I didn't know you got a new machine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everybody's upgrading.
I couldn't let Derek be the only one.
I think everybody has gotten some new hardware in the last month, it seems.
Well, I think what's going to happen is I'm just going to wind up, not now though, it's too soon. That's why I'm trying to be a little conservative with money. Is this machine isn't all that terribly old, but I think, like you guys, I'm going to wind up building, you know, a beast down the road here, but not right now.
Yeah, I've been happy. People keep asking me, you know, have I experienced any hiccups? And no, I've actually, everything has been great on my end. The only problem I had with this machine, I didn't mention it on camera, but when I first got it, the mic jack in the back of the computer, you know, that's actually in the motherboard.
Yeah.
It did not want to work. Well, it had a, I guess, like a short or something. Anything you plugged into, all you got was static. You guys have probably had that happen before, though it's not really, it's like there's something interfering with it, almost.
Yep.
Did you try multiple things in there though, Derek? Because
yeah, anything you plug in. So I knew it was, you know, something with the port, which wasn't a big deal because I've got other ports to plug in, you know, mics and headphones and everything. But I was able to fix the problem. I took the side of the case off and jiggled around with some of the wiring and put it back together, plugged in some speakers. They worked. No static. So it was just a situation where something in there was causing a little bit of interference with that port, where anything you plugged in was just a staticky mess. So like you couldn't even figure out what was playing. So that was
that's just it. I mean, it's kind of like what I just went through with these video cards. You know, who would have ever thought, like the 1060 the 1660 I'm looking at, the Ti. I want a backplate. It's not super critical, but I do have a glass panel on this one, and it's tinted. It's not easy to see, but if I ever illuminate more in there, you'll see the unfinished back, and I don't like that. Well, the way the plate is made, it actually has a tapered notch out to avoid those ports. Who'd ever thought, right? You know, I mean, with all the systems I put together, I've never experienced that before. Rocco, are you doing a Threadripper then too now, or no?
No, I got a 9.9.
Oh, you Intel?
Yeah, me and Derek decided to go opposite.
Yeah, so you're doing NVIDIA as well?
Yep.
Yep. I came really close to going I've always used NVIDIA. I've never bought an AMD card. Ever. I have always been on the NVIDIA bandwagon. Because for years, it just always, they work on Linux, where the AMD cards, years ago, were kind of a miss.
They were. I had...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it was time for me to check out AMD, just, for purposes of, I make YouTube videos about Linux. I don't even know anything about AMD cards, never owned one. Let me try to run one for a little while, so. Well, we went with a Radeon 7. Otherwise, I'd be running a 1080. This is what I'd be on.
Well, you talk about the Threadripper a lot, but have you noticed anything with the Ryzen?
I'm sorry.
Or the Radeon 7? Have you noticed any difference in the video card?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as far as, I mentioned I don't game that much, but I can tell the games actually. I mean, I bumped up all the settings to all the highest settings and on all the games I play, and it just handles all that very smoothly. But beyond that, you guys know I record a lot of video. I don't do a lot of live streaming. I typically do pre-recorded videos on the YouTube channel, and render times take forever. Of course, that's the Threadripper usually handling that, so I've noticed better render times, although you can offload some of that to the GPU in certain editors. But you can definitely notice the gaming is better. Frames per second. I'm not exactly sure what frames per second I'm getting here. I am actually getting, if I stand still for a second, because I do have it turned on in the upper right corner, around 70 to 75 frames per second, and that's with everything kind of on the highest setting. Let me see what I turned on here, because this is what me and Joe were doing the other day. I think I turned, full sync. Let's turn on VSync. Motion blur. Anti-aliasing is already on. Quality is high. Save changes. With everything ticked on, 60 frames per second. That's with the open source driver.
You don't need motion blur on there. You'd never notice the difference, and that would bump your settings up too.
Oh, motion blur definitely drops it down. So I probably wouldn't turn that on typically gaming, but it's just I'm turning it on just to see how it affects the game. Yeah.
I want to be all team red all the way if I could, but it's just for whatever reason with this system, it's like I said, I'd have to change. I think the motherboard again. I'm in a mini ITX too, which my old 2013 Intel machine, that was in that big case, so I had all kinds of room in there, and I never had problems.
Contact.
So.
Grenades.
But this is the first, AMD, I mean full-blown AMD machine I've had in a long time, so. And right now I'm on the, I don't know if you're aware, but they've got the 430 driver out now too.
Okay.
NVIDIA.
Well, I don't have my NVIDIA cards plugged into this machine. I'm just running the Radeon 7. I still have my NVIDIA 1060 that's in the other machine. I just haven't taken it out of that case. I will, though. I'm actually going to give that machine to a family member that needs a computer. So.
Well, and for me, I'm pulling a solid 60 frames on this one, and I'm here. I've got a 760 that's 6 years old in here.
Yeah.
So I can't complain.
Yeah, but I would expect that with NVIDIA, especially the proprietary NVIDIA drivers I mentioned, they just work. I mean, that's why NVIDIA is great. I talk about free and open source software, but you know what? If you're going to game or do anything, NVIDIA with the proprietary drivers, they're just better cards. They are.
I'm hitting around 140, 150 FPS with Ballistic Overkill.
Yeah, and you're running a 1080?
2080.
Oh, the 2080. Okay.
That's a nice card.
Wow. How much did that set you back? The 2080. They dropped in price.
they didn't drop it. Right?
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Well, yeah, not enough to notice.
No, they didn't drop it. Right.
Yeah, Rocco doesn't want to share what he paid. Took out a loan, huh?
Yeah, no, they didn't drop it price. I could have saved a couple many $100.
I was about to say the 1080 was on sale, but you wanted the 2080, right?
I had the 1080. I had the 1080 in the old machine, but I wanted the upgrade. You know, I upgraded everything else. I bought a new PC, like a pre-built computer, so it was like, you know, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well buy it. You know,
Yeah, it's understandable. Let's turn off VSync and motion blur especially. Turn off the anti-aliasing. Let's see. That actually didn't change anything. I wonder if I actually saved the changes. I may not have. No, I did. Yep. That's weird. That should have bumped my frames per second up at least like 30 more frames a second, but it didn't. Wonder why that is.
I still don't know if this FPS monitor in Steam is off.
It's not accurate. It can't be, because I know turning off motion blur especially is going to increase frames per second, like in a big way. And I saw no increase at all. But I'm playing the game, and the game is definitely doing fine.
Look, it really doesn't matter. Like I make fun of AMD, and I'll make fun of Ryan with AMD and stuff, but that's just like us razzing each other.
Yeah.
The Radeon 7 is a great card, and it's going to be better than most people would actually need for gaming or anything. So.
Oh yeah, and I really didn't buy the card to game. I don't game that much.
Right.
Mainly I bought it for the 16 gigs of high bandwidth memory that it has on board.
The only thing not sure about with AMD cards is the certain things, like you have to go into the BIOS and switch gaming mode on or off or something like that. I've read.
Depending on the card you have, like the 590 that I had, that actually had a manual switch on the card itself that you could, but who wants to reach into their card? You either basically turned it on or off with silent mode or what they consider overclock for gaming. And really, out of the gate, that thing was like 1400 something megahertz right out of the gate without the overclock on it.
Wow, I didn't get a kill that entire round. I need to start taking this a little more seriously. Of course, I spent a lot of time playing with the settings. I need to actually play the game.
I got 6 assists, that was it.
Okay. Looks like you're right, Joe, the FPS monitor on Steam. Now all of a sudden it's showing my frames per second at like 110.
Yeah, I'm getting... Yeah, and it's in the menus, you're getting like 2...
Mm-hmm.
Who cares what you're getting in the menu?
Well, yeah, then it jumps up to 573. Wow. I mean, what?
Yeah, when it's going in between. I don't know that Linux has any kind of a system monitor, a proper one, really, that'll monitor FPS.
And now that I'm in the game, I'm getting what I actually expected to get when I turned off motion blur. I'm getting around 80 frames per second, 85 occasionally.
Yeah, see, I had that stuff all off already. Well, the other thing too is, I was thinking about this. I'm on a widescreen monitor.
Mm-hmm.
That affects it too. It's not like because that's technically, it's not. If you're doing 1080p, you're going to be at 1900. What is it by 1080? 1920 by 1080 or something like that. For 1080p, and I'm here at 3440 by 1440. So. You know, the monitor too also makes a difference. Oh, I hesitated. That could have been.
Yeah, I'm getting into the game now. Yeah, Jessica says she gets 200 to 300 frames per second in Portal. Okay. I don't know Portal.
Yeah, there's some games that'll pull them pretty good.
Yeah.
In what?
Portal.
Yeah. Oh, Portal, yeah.
Yeah.
But this game's pretty graphic intensive too when you think about it.
It is. Yeah, this is. I mean, the graphics in this game are great, actually.
I'm ready.
Considering I paid $9.99 when I bought it, it was on sale. You can't beat this game for $10. Looks every bit as good as Counter-Strike, in my opinion.
We have them.
God, there's nothing but grenades hitting me.
Well,
Oh my God.
I see them.
Better luck in the next life.
man, some of these people just do not die. Let's try a different loadout. I'm gonna rock with the shotgun this time.
But Rocco, you raise a very valid point. Is, you know, if you're into hard gaming and other stuff, you know, that's a different story. But if you're like, you know, like we are with games just enough to have a little bit of fun or whatever, and you know, the systems that, you know, like you have, I wouldn't say what I have is overkill. I've got probably pretty much, for the most part, what I need once I get this video card straightened out. But
Here I come.
I do agree with you. I think that, you know.
Well, I would consider Rocco a pretty hardcore gamer. I know he games a lot. So.
Yeah,
I mean, not a competitive gamer, but he plays a little bit.
Yeah, about as hardcore as you can get without being competitive. How's that?
Right, exactly.
Well, when you start getting into the competitions and all that,
Yeah.
you know, and
I'm ready.
And to be honest, that's why probably Rocco is on that NVIDIA 2080 instead of on Team Red.
yeah,
And quite frankly, they're just, again, it's the video drivers. The NVIDIA drivers are just better. The proprietary
Target
drivers.
Area secure. I see them.
Target spotted.
It's out. Target down. We have them.
Yeah, you got lucky there, Rocco.
Of course I did.
Yeah. I had you.
That didn't last long.
Yeah, I'm shooting my own
gun
teammates.
can't hold fast enough.
Oh, I gotta reload. Did somebody just kill me with a chainsaw? I mean, what did this person just kill me with?
I'll take no chances.
I don't think they have chainsaws.
I don't know.
I'm ready.
Some two-handed weapon, but she was slicing at me. She wasn't shooting at me.
Ginsu?
It might have. It wasn't like the sword though. It was.
Well, there's that hammer thing too.
Yeah.
I have eyes on target.
Target down. Target spotted.
Man, I gotta get out of these corners.
Enemy detected.
Contact.
Targets ahead.
I have eyes on target. Area secure.
Ah.
Better luck in the next life, kid.
I'll make it quick for you.
I'm not doing very good at this game tonight. No. Excuse me, guys.
It's not about doing good. It's about having fun.
Yeah.
That is true.
Let's do this.
Well, mainly
And I'll
people
tell
have
you-
been been asking about my new computer, so I felt like I needed to do something. So I'm like, we'll just game, because that's usually what people want to know. Because it
Well,
handles Steam.
coming from gaming, like coming from that thing, that area, it's better to play a game you're not in love with people you're friends with, than it is to play a game you love without anybody.
Yeah. It's a
Oh, I
ancient
killed-
Chinese proverb there, huh? Another thing people are asking about, the new hardware, where do you notice some differences? Live streaming. Live streaming right now in 1080p, 60 frames a second, and it's fantastic. Where the other machine, that could be a struggle, mainly because the CPU is, and that was the bottleneck on that machine. Yeah.
So you're on you said 24 or 27 inch monitor.
Me?
Yeah.
I have three 24-inch monitors.
Okay, so you're at the, what, 1920 then? By 1080?
Yeah, I do 1920 by 1080 on them.
Yeah. And I honestly thought about bringing my 27 in here to see if it'd make a difference. It's not an IPS, but it's supposed to be good gaming.
And people often ask me when they see my triple monitor setup, why don't I just get one of the new, like, ultra widescreen? It's because I like to do tiling window managers, and
Sure.
it makes things easy when everything's on its own monitor. Every workspace is its own monitor. Yes, you can divvy up the ultra wide screens, and make them pretend like they're different monitors, but
Right. It's not the same.
it really isn't. No.
And Rocco's at a 27, I think, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frag out. Grenade.
Well, on the old machine I have a 32-inch monitor, and I love that.
Found it.
32-inch 4K monitors are ridiculous in their price.
Shit grenade.
Well, if you're buying a 2080 Rocco, you can afford the
No, well, see, that's the thing. You can only afford so much. Where do you want to spend it?
I have eyes
Yeah.
on target.
Well, it also comes out to future-proofing a little bit, too.
It does. That's really what I wanted to do with my new
Here I
equipment. Was
come.
I didn't want to have to buy a machine for the next 5 years at least.
Well, you know what I did notice about this
We're
old
losing.
card? In my old i7 4770K machine, when I ran in there, I would hear the fans ramp up. They haven't even budged in here. I can hardly hear my machine running.
I will tell you, my new machine is quieter than the old machine. A lot of people would be surprised about that, because some people did complain that maybe the Radeon 7 was loud. My Radeon 7, I don't even hear the fans running right now.
I
the Threadripper,
did hear that.
yeah. This machine is like crazy quiet compared to my other machine. And my other machine was not a loud machine, but this one, I hear it like a very low hum. And this
does
microphone,
it put off a lot of heat?
it does put off a little bit of heat. The room I'm in is a small room, and you do notice this room is a few degrees warmer when you exit the room, compared to
I see them.
outside the room. But I also have three monitors running. It's hard to say what's, because the three monitors, of course, are putting off heat.
Oh, yeah, they'll cook you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the Threadripper, I liquid cooled it, so no real noise. And the mic I use, pretty sensitive mic. This blue baby bottle. It'll pick up cars going by outside sometimes, but I have no problems with the noise of the machine here.
Yeah, my CPU right now is at 42, and we're gaming, and my GPU, believe it or not, is up around 70, 68, which is a little warm for it, but
Let's do this.
I don't hear it. It's 1350 RPM. I still don't hear it. It's bizarre. But I actually, you know what? I know why it's running a little warmer too. I turn the fans down a little more on silent. The machine fans, even when they're up, I can hardly hear them because they're noctulas.
You adjusted the fans down because they were a little too loud?
Well, late at night, they're not, I wouldn't say they're loud. By most people's purpose, they think I'm crazy. I like to have the machines totally silent. But that little bit that I turned it down did, in fact, I think is bringing the temps up. Because normally this only runs at around in the 50s. And I've got all 140 millimeter fans in here, so which push a lot of air.
We have them!
Target down.
That strategy did not work that I tried to employ there. This map is not good for me. Ever. I don't like this map.
Thing about this map, I noticed, which I'm not very good in any of them, but the one thing I noticed about this, if you're going to do any better, is you got to go from instead of staying on your own side, it seems like. Now, where Rocco's concerned, and the sniping, I would say that wouldn't be a...
Oh, well, it's his kind of map, yeah. But for our characters that have to charge in, it's not a good map. In the chat, Shadow1028 username, saying I may want to monitor the heat of, I guess, my GPU. Said that card gets hot. Yeah, that's the complaint, is the Radeon 7 gets hot, and that's why the fans spin. I guess the fans are loud to some people. The card I've got, though, the fans are spinning, but they're not loud at all. They're not noisy. Now, it may be the brand. I have a Gigabyte brand, Radeon 7. So
that makes a big difference in the brand. Because they all tweak it a little bit differently.
I mean, the fans are definitely spinning while I'm gaming, but there's no noticeable noise, really.
What type of case fans do you have? Do you know?
As far as the brand, I couldn't tell you right offhand, Joe. I do have 3, maybe 4 case fans. It's a large case too. I don't know if you checked out the video when I kind of unboxed it and compared it to my other machine. It's like this case, seriously, it's like 3 times bigger than my other machine. It was a gigantic case. Heavy. I mean, it weighs a ton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It also doesn't help when you're putting things like the Radeon 7 in it, which just weigh it down even more. But it's got carry handles, thankfully. So.
Well, that's the way to
take it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, exactly. If I had to like take it to a shop or something, yeah, you would want to be able to grab a hold of it.
Go to a LAN party.
Yeah, not with this thing. When you see it, I mean, if you saw it in person, yeah, you're not taking this to a LAN party.
Well, my fractal case is the Define R5 here. That thing with the machine put together is like 35 pounds. And you give up that's why I went with a lot of fans in it at the time, because you get, like you just said, you give up air, so you need extra.
Yeah.
Pulling and pushing power. And
yeah, I've got. Let's see if I can see what's in the.
Yeah, that's the case of the old machine I got.
I've got 2 or 3 fans in the front of the case, and I think I've got a couple at the top. Then, of course, the CPU is again liquid cooled with a 280 millimeter radiator, which is a pretty large radiator.
Large.
Yes, it is. It takes up quite a bit of space in the case, but the case is huge, and I'm not going to run out of room in this case.
Contact.
Well, the mini ITX I have it's probably the most open case I've had in a long time. It's the Meshify C Mini.
Yeah.
So I actually only have 3 fans running in here, where I had 6 in the other machine.
Give me just a second, guys. All right, I had to take my earbuds out for a second. I had a situation I had to take care of.
Okay.
Target spotted.
It was busy, Joe.
Yeah, I know. That's the only reason I had a prayer, right?
He got you, Joe?
No, I got him.
Ah, okay.
But he was shooting at 3 other guys at the same time, so.
I have eyes on target.
All right.
Almost.
All right, let's go. Let's rock. No. Yeah, I didn't rock.
Did you notice, remember the other night when we were talking a lot about this, Derek? When I first came on, I was getting a bit of a stutter, and it's kind of gone away. It's almost like it has to settle in and adapt to your machine or something. I don't have any stutter anymore.
Well, I'd mentioned that night I was also getting some strange stuttering when we played Ballistic Overkill, and because it was happening to both of us, that almost had to be their servers. There's no way we were both having the same issue with different hardware.
Right.
Because today I'm not having any of that issue, that we were having the other night. So.
See, when I first came in, I was, and then it's kind of itself out. It's almost like I said. It almost seems like the machine's got to adjust to it or something. I don't have any stutter at all now.
I'm ready.
Yeah, Jessica's asking, does this game have some cache or something? Does it cache data? I guess I'm not actually sure.
It
Jessica
has lock boxes that you can unlock, but nothing major.
Yep.
Contact.
The other thing I noticed too when I first started, I could hear my drive that the games are on get accessed a couple of times. So I wonder, and it seemed like it would stutter then. So it makes me wonder if the game had to catch up.
It could be, yeah. If it had some kind of data on a second drive it had to access.
Did you get a second drive in your computer?
I didn't need to because I already have like 1 million drives, Rocco, because of the IC dock. So I have the 1 terabyte NVMe that I'm using.
Oh, 1 terabyte, nice.
Yes, but well, like I said, I wanted to future-proof a little bit. I wanted to make sure.
Let's do this.
Right.
So but then I put my 6-bay IC dock also in the machine, so I've got all those extra drives.
I have eyes on target.
So I've got room for 6 SSDs plus the NVMe. Actually, I've got room for 8 SSDs because there's also a couple of bays in the case itself for some SSDs if I wanted to. Assuming I've got SATA connections for all of them, which on this motherboard I think I do.
Target spotted. See you in the afternoon.
The motherboard is ASRock. I think it's the X399.
Yeah,
What is that? The Fatality something? I don't know.
Well, they have so many different. Just in the 390 series, they have so many different motherboards, like Phantom Gaming 3, Phantom Gaming 4, that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think it is one of the Phantom Gamings.
Yeah, mine's the 399 Phantom Gaming 4.
Let's do this.
I did notice one thing though the other night when I finally plugged in all my extra SSDs that I had in the other machine, the IC dock.
Contact.
Because I had installed the NVIDIA drivers, of course, on all of those. Some of those distros did not want to act right when I tried to log into them,
Contact.
So I do have to play with some of the graphics drivers on some of those, or just reinstall.
Match tied? That's the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah. Wow, for team deathmatch, that's interesting. Well, I actually didn't do that bad, considering that map is a horrible map for my character. I mean, I was still last place on the team, but... I did frag a few people.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I still need to change the name of the stream from I Will Frag All You Fools. You know what? I'm going to change it right now. Guys. All right, Rocco. Thanks for hanging out.
All right, Rocco. Take care, buddy.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and change the title. I will get fragged. If I can type. By all you fools. Okay, there we go. Now it's more appropriate.
Oh, that sounds so confident.
Ooh, somebody is already
That's
all
me.
over me.
Shit, grenade!
That was me.
Grenade!
And then I got sniped.
Well, that's good because I had no idea where you were when you were hitting me. This map, though, I like this map. This map is one of those where I can just roll with the shotgun and I can mess some people up because everybody is in close.
I see them!
Yep.
Gotcha. So you already won down with the shotgun. But then somebody got me. I was out of ammo, though. Yeah, Grayson is saying goodnight in the chat. Alright, Grayson.
Do this!
Yep. DT gets fragged. The live stream. Yeah.
See, that's where I miss my multi-monitor. Because even I've got a widescreen on here, it's like, do I dare bring the chat up in here or not? And
Oh, you know what? Once you get used to using 2, 3, whatever number of multi-monitors, you can't go back to 1.
yeah.
Here I
always
Like
had
it-
3 before, and I thought, well, this will...
Yeah.
I did this mostly to be able to split 2 machines on here, and I still never did it since I had it, so...
Yeah.
double kill.
For example, I mean, I've got OBS on one monitor. On that same monitor, I've got the YouTube chat, so I can monitor what the chat is saying.
Yep.
On another monitor, I've got Discord up because we're using Discord. Sometimes I also have a terminal open on that other monitor too, just in case I need access to the shelf or something. I need to kill a process that's out of control or whatever.
Right.
And of course, the center monitor we're gaming on, and I'm actually capturing that monitor. Like, it would be so annoying, like if I had to change a scene in OBS to switch workspaces to do that. I don't have to do that. It's right there on my other monitor.
I've got one more excuse for my bad playing, is even after all this time, I haven't played and still really get used to the keyboard and mouse. You know, I was always so used to playing like the controller, but you know,
Yeah, WASD is different.
it becomes a grenading. You know, I always have to think about it, or I have to hit my finger in it. You know.
I have no health left. I killed a couple of their guys, but I am like right near death. Somebody just has to touch me, and I should die. Oh, I see some health though. If I can run and get that health before anybody notices me. I didn't though. I was right on it, and they got me. Well, this guy has a like a kitty backpack, like a Hello Kitty backpack he's wearing in the game. How do I get that?
I have no idea.
And why would you mod your character to wear a Hello Kitty backpack? It's a new generation, Joe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Uh-oh, Joe. Did you see me?
Barely as I went down.
Yeah, this map is awesome for my character. I literally do not even go to the AK. I just roll around with a shotgun. And I've actually got a lot of frags, considering.
You doing the berserker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's pointing at me.
Oh, who are you, and where did you come from?
Double kill.
Oh, that's the one with the Hello Kitty backpack. Okay.
I'm ready.
I keep getting shot in the back.
Yeah, that's a technique here in this game.
One shot, one kill.
I would use it too if I was that good. Uh-oh, got the kill assist at least.
Double kill.
Yeah, Jessica is saying DT isn't the best at games. Yes, I'm not a gamer. You guys know that at all. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't get
so enjoyable when you're both bad, right?
Yeah. If I didn't do this YouTube channel, I wouldn't game at all. I mean, the only reason I'm gaming right now, you guys are wondering about my machine. Here we are. We're putting it to the test. This is not the content I usually create. Not the content I enjoy creating, to be honest, but I wouldn't say this is content. This is just me. I was going to sit down and play for a few minutes anyway. I was like, well, let's just get it on stream. We'll record a little bit of it. It's not a planned show in any way.
I don't know enough about, like the things that those, what they call scrapping and all this other stuff. I don't know exactly what all that does.
What are you talking about, Joe?
Well,
Scrapping?
when you get the cases and you open up and then you scrap them, and I don't know what that does.
In the game?
What? Yeah, in the Ballistic.
Oh, yeah. You're asking the wrong. You played the game much more than me, probably, Joe. I can tell you, 90% of the times I've ever played this game, Joe, you were a part of it. So that should tell you how much I've played the game. I haven't played the game that much.
Let's do this.
I see you. And of course I didn't hit you at all. I gotta reload.
You weren't up on the
Gotcha.
conveyor, were you, a second ago?
What was that, Joe?
You weren't up on the conveyor there, were you?
Yes, I was. I was after somebody. They were on a conveyor trying to get away from me, and I was on a different conveyor.
I'm ready.
Oh my God! Both ran out of bullets. I finally got him in the head. It's like, we were literally like my barrel was sticking through his head.
Too many people. I'm trying to get one guy, and somebody else is on me.
Yep.
Let's do this.
This is a free-for-all, though. There's no teams in this one, huh? That's why. When you get 12 people, in a free-for-all, it's
a bit much, yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm ready.
It's a bit much for a novice player at best, and the good players can handle it.
Double kill.
Now, this person with the Hello Kitty backpack, they're doing really well in this game.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Got her, though. I say her. I hope it's a her. I don't know. But then somebody took me out playing the Rocco character.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Double kill.
Yeah. Somebody's asking about their CPU. They're asking about a Core 2 Duo. Yeah, that's an old CPU. And they're asking would a i7 make a difference? Yes. Like a big difference.
Yeah, and it depends on which generation too. But even the older ones, I was running a 4th gen and it was doing pretty well. But now that's, like I said, 6 years old. So.
Yeah. Those old Core 2 Duos are not bad machines. If you get an old laptop, an old ThinkPad or something with a Core 2 Duo, if you get a good price for it, I mean, you get it for $60 or whatever, you know, maybe without a hard drive, yeah. But you can run Linux on it, no problem. It'll run an operating system, do everything you want to do as long as you don't want to do anything that requires a lot of CPU, like gaming. Obviously, things like video editing, streaming video would be out of the question.
Well, honestly, when I built this, I didn't build it specifically to be a gaming machine, and this is the Ryzen 1600. So, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of other processors in the Ryzen lineup that might be better than this one, but it does okay. I mean, 6 cores, 12 threads isn't that bad.
I'm going to vote for Capture Point and see if anybody is willing to do a Capture Point game.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, because those are noob friendly. I mean, that would be good for you and me.
Yeah.
The team-based games. Free for All is not a good game for us. King of the Hill is not a good one either.
The thing about free for all though is it kind of gets you sharpened up, I think, a little bit.
Oh yeah, because very action packed. Yeah.
I'm ready.
I don't even know what won. It's a team-based game though. I see 0-0, so I don't know if it's team deathmatch. It must be because there's no capture point, so it must be the deathmatch.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah. Let's see the other team's area here. Let me see if I can spawn camp.
I see them.
I don't think you're gonna spawn camp. I'm trying to load.
I gotcha. I was out of shotgun shells too. That's why I was running in that hallway as I was going in there to reload, but you followed me in there. I had to switch to the AK. Luckily, I got it up in time.
Well, the worst part is I forgot to switch to my double gun to that and probably finished you off. But it's like,
oh yeah, I was done. I mean, there was a good 3 seconds there where I had no ammo.
I don't know if your mouse adjusts too for the speed and the frames and all that, but it's like between the first 2 settings, it's either just too slow or just too fast.
Shit grenade! Have them!
Yeah, I don't have any problems with the mouse. I do notice when because I had to reinstall, obviously, when I got my new computer. By default, the mouse sensitivity in Ballistic Overkill is insane. Like it's way too sensitive. So I did dial it back a little bit. Yeah, Joe. Switch to the shotgun. I knew you were going to come around that corner.
I know you're
Oh! Got 3 of you with the shotgun. Keep coming around that corner, guys. Of course, I need to move now. Joe knows where I'm at.
Incoming.
Hits up! Frag out!
Somebody got me, though. Mr. Wolf ended my kill streak.
I wonder why they only give you 1 grenade.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, well, you get more than 1, don't you? Eventually, but I don't know how long it takes for another one to spawn.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you get 1 in a crack, it's not.
Well, I'm good at switching to that shotgun at the last second. I've gotten pro at that. I can't navigate the stairs, though.
Let's do this. I see them.
Ooh,
They got you, Joe. Yeah, you almost had me, too. I was down to 10 health. And somebody else finished me off.
Let's do this. be you. Heads up! Frag out! Die, you
Ah, I got
monster!
somebody with the grenade.
Area secured.
Alright, let's go. Where are you guys at? Well, I said that and then the ninja got me. That's so cheap. I hate that character.
I see them.
Ah. Mr. Wolf. Also has a Hello Kitty backpack.
I'm ready. We have them.
Oh! I couldn't spin around fast enough.
Clear.
Well, you almost had me too, Joe. I really wasn't expecting you to come running down that hallway like that.
Yep.
Grenade.
Oh.
Found them. Double kill. Enemy detected. Let's do this.
Yeah, Jessica in the chat. You notice how every bald guy with a serious expression gets called Agent 47?
Yeah.
I always look serious though.
Double kill. I'm ready.
Ooh.
If people didn't know I was gaming right now and they were just looking at a picture of me, they wonder what I was angry about. You know, it's that kind of seriousness. this very grave look.
I see them. Grenade. Grenade out.
Alright. Oh, dang. I was reloading when he came out.
Tie game again.
Yeah, and we're going to rename it. Jessica says to DT gets killed hundreds of times in a row in a live stream. That's not a bad name either. I can't keep renaming the stream though.
You didn't stop.
Wow, I didn't even get the kill. Even though I shot you 3 times, somebody else finished you off.
Let's do this.
I was giving somebody pardon the phrase, a lead animal because they were standing up on the rail.
Well, I think that person finally got the kill. I think he was the one that got the last hit. He didn't even realize what was going on until the last second. The snipers. So overpowered. Yeah, let's switch to the machine pistols. I don't use these too often because they waste ammo so quickly. You gotta reload all the time.
Yeah, but they load so quickly too. I mean, probably the fastest loading ones out there. Plus, they allow you to move real quick too.
Yeah, you can run fast with them.
Frag out.
Ah, wow, somebody is just tearing this game up with their sniper.
Yep.
Let's do this.
I don't know.
It's to the point where you almost just want to hang back and see if they'll come to you.
We have them.
Alright. Run around with my machine pistols. What do we got? Uzis? No, they're not Uzis. 90mm Uzi.
Shit, grenade.
Target spotted.
To bits. We have them. I see them. Grenade. You didn't stop.
Got him with the machine pistols. Awesome. I'm out of ammo though.
Grenade.
Trying to do the shotgun. Nah, shotgun did not work.
Let's do this.
Ah.
I see Let's do this.
Alright, got somebody with the pistols again.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, well, not
No,
just
I
you.
got Mango. Somebody else got me.
Yeah, I got somebody in front of you. Yeah, but I was going to get you, and then other person not.
I switched at the wrong time again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, yeah, the machine pistols are doing well.
pistol
Considering-
fun.
Yeah, considering how unwise it is to shoot a fully automatic with one hand. And apparently I'm doing it with each hand, so.
Found him. Here I
All right. Well, that wasn't bad. Let's see. Well, I say it wasn't bad. Our team lost. So, my team lost. Your team won, Joe. Barely, though.
Yeah,
Close
it was
game.
close the whole time. Wow. You know, it felt. You ever get it where I had one?
Yeah, that was the best I had ever played that map by far. I mean, it wasn't even close. Usually I suck on that. I never play with the machine pistols though, because I just don't. It doesn't seem like it's very effective. But when I played it there, I mean, I got probably half of my 11 kills
Yeah.
just those last couple of minutes with the pistols. So
I'm ready.
this is another team deathmatch. I guess that's all they want to play. Nobody likes capture point. Oh, I see the ninja. The ninja got me. Alright, we better switch back to my standard loadout with the AK.
Heads up, frag out! Enemy spotted!
Okay. What was that? A ninja that got me? Of course.
Let's do this.
My son, when he was really into gaming a long time ago, Battlefield and stuff, he says it's all in the strafing and the side-to-side movements and all that.
Oh, I got the ninja that time. He tried to sneak up on me. He came close to killing me, but I was prepared that time.
Got two of them at once. How does that happen?
I see.
They're
that.
both standing on the
Show
health
some
thing.
respect.
Oh, I got him with the grenade.
Clear.
Yeah, I'm getting a little better at this game. Maybe if I played it on a regular basis instead of once every 6 months.
No, no, no.
Nothing like almost blowing yourself up with your own grenade like I just did.
Heads down, grenade
Yeah,
out!
I've been known to do that from time to time. Alright, I'm back to 200 health now. Now I can get back in the fight.
Grenades out.
Targets ahead.
We have them.
Oh, I'm out of shotgun shells. Dang.
Better luck in the next life.
And somebody is about to kill me.
The tank has extra shotgun, I think, shot or whatever too, but he moves so slow.
Yeah, depending on what loadout I'm doing. I've got one that holds 6 shells and one that holds 8.
Found them.
I can tell you right now, the one that holds 6 shells is annoying to use. Maybe if I could aim. But, you know, I missed so many times.
Yeah.
The ninja.
That shotgun on the tank doesn't shoot as fast though either. I noticed that.
Yeah, what is that low volume Russian in the back? Is that game? Yeah, it's just the game characters. They do say stuff. It's not chat from like the live characters. It's just the in-game characters say stuff while you're gaming.
Sucks to be you.
Including some profanities. It's not, but it's not Russian. It is in English. But it with an accent.
Safe and sound.
I tried to kill my own guy. That's not good.
I see that. God!
I'm not real good with the grenade.
Yeah, me either.
I'm ready.
Yeah, Vladimir's thanking me for explaining what the Russian stuff was. It's just the in-game characters. Like when they leave the safe area, they say, "I'm ready." You know. And sometimes when people shoot you and hurt you, you know, they'll say different words. So, then you get the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sometimes when you're getting hit. Yeah.
Frag out!
Yeah, I was searching for you there, Joe. I gotta tell you. I accidentally hit you with that grenade. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known you were behind that column. But I threw that grenade kind of randomly, and then I saw it took somebody's health. Like, let me go around there and see who that is.
I see them!
You know, I was just looking at the settings in here. There's in-game chat for this game, but I don't know if it really works. I mean, the only way I've ever been able to...
Well, you see, when we die, there's some chat going on, and I think there's a hotkey. You could pull it up to type, you know, good game or whatever you want to do.
Oh, that... Okay, I thought it meant, you know, like what we're doing, the talking to each other.
No, there's no voice chat. There may be. I don't know if you can connect a mic in a Ballistic Overkill or not. In CS:GO, you could. Team Fortress. I mean, you could talk to your teammates.
Right.
You probably can in Ballistic Overkill. Most people just find it easier though to use Discord.
Right.
Yeah. But then everybody has got to be on Discord. So.
Oh, that's a different room.
You didn't stand a chance.
The one you just killed me in.
Yes, you can.
Who shot me and where are they at? It's the ninja?
I see them.
Mr. Wolf. Wow.
One thing
Mitchell
I don't-
says, and Mitchell in the chat saying he thinks I'm getting better. I think I am too, now that I've played a little bit.
It seems like you can have really good nights and then off nights. There's a lot of things to just learn about this game too that if you don't play it enough, like you said, it takes a while to figure things out. Or
Oh yeah, because if you don't play this game or any game like this very often, you know, first-person shooters, it takes a while to adjust. Just the mouse sensitivity and all that's going to be crazy for you at first.
Shit! Grenade!
Ooh, I see you, ninja. And I thought I had the ninja, but somebody else finished him off. But I did see him coming that time. I'm gonna roll around with a shotgun. That way when the ninja sneaks up on me, one blast should take him out.
they call it the bone breaker shotgun. Did you see that one yet?
Is that the one I've got? I
It's
can't
like a
switch.
handheld sawed-off.
I have seen that one, I think.
Yeah, the
Joe.
one I'm shooting at you with.
Yeah. You don't use that one very often, do you, Joe?
No, I just started. I did get.
Yeah, the ones I've got the Anaconda and the Thumper.
Yeah.
Which
What I was
are not
starting to
even-
say, what I don't like is that it seems like you have to be. You can't change your. Like you can set up your loadouts, but you can only set them up when you're not playing.
Right. Yeah, you can't switch in the middle of it. Yeah, I just killed somebody with a Thumper, which is not even the real name of that weapon. I guess they can't put the actual gun name in the game. Maybe
Yeah, I
for
suppose.
trademark, you know, maybe the manufacturers wouldn't.
Well,
Does this-
Desert Eagle's a actual gun. And I see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Do they actually call it a Desert Eagle?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I've never actually shot a Desert Eagle, considering I love guns. I'm kind of a gun nut. And a lot of ranges will rent them if you're ever interested in firing a 50 caliber handgun. You know, it's not one of those things that I just really think I would enjoy, but hey.
Let's do this!
I guess if you you know, depending on where you lived, like if you lived in bear country, you know, maybe
Yeah.
having something like that makes sense. Where I'm at, though, I mean, I would have no use for anything like that.
Which one you voting for this time?
Yeah, let's see. Nobody's really... Well, they're all voting for Team Deathmatch every time. I'm going to do Capture Point, but it's always Team Deathmatch. That's all they want to play. Nah, we're not going to win the vote. So...
No. Well, by judging by the chat, I don't even know if they're typing in. I don't know what it is, if it's Spanish or what it is. I can't even tell what they're typing in the chat.
Oh, yeah. We joined a South American server. I didn't tell you that, Joe.
Oh, I just put my Big Daddy Linux and jumped in. So.
Yeah. When I first joined, there were only 2 games going on that had 2 servers that had people in it. One was in North America, but it was full, 12 of 12. So I couldn't get in it. And then the other one was South America. There was 8 of 12 people in it. So it was the only other game going. So I joined the South American one. The ping was okay, though. The ping was 187, so...
Yeah, it seems to be doing good.
Yeah, it's working fine. So I've just stayed in it. I didn't bother leaving. So. I don't know exactly where in South America this server is, but it's working.
I see them! Heads up! Frag out!
Awful quiet.
Yeah, I'm concentrating. I got somebody on me, Joe.
Everybody was quiet. I didn't hear the gun.
Yeah, I had to be quiet there for a second because I was involved in something.
Do this!
That's all right. I got my revenge.
All clear here!
I better reload while I'm running. Reloading while you're running does slow you down, but not too much. Yeah. Got him. I cannot kill the sniper, though, that far away with the shotgun. Yeah, Lamer Linux is in the chat. Yeah, you've always wanted to shoot the Desert Eagle. Hey, It's one of those things, probably why so many ranges rent them. It's one of those things everybody wants to do just to say they did.
Yep.
And Desert Eagle they make 2 different models actually. They make the 50 caliber, you know, that's chambered in 50 AE. That's the one everybody typically buys. But they do make a smaller one that's only chambered in 44 Magnum. So,
Oh, boy.
yeah, if you prefer 44 Magnum.
Let's do this.
Now I have shot some 44 Magnum handguns, and they can be unpleasant too.
Oh yeah. Somebody's got some kind of weapon that's shooting a bunch of grenades.
Yeah, there is one character that has something like that in here. It's called the Grenadier or something. You don't see too many people play that character. I have tried it a couple of times just to see how it operates. But it seems like everybody is the Berserker or the Sniper is kind of popular with the good players, especially.
Yeah.
And that ninja character, surprisingly. Sometimes we join games and there's 3 or 4 of those guys running around.
Michael's, that's his favorite.
Yeah, and he is good with that character. I mean, you gotta give him credit.
Oh yeah.
Let's do this.
Alright, where is everybody?
I have no idea.
It's like everybody's just hanging back. Well, if they're gonna do that, I'm gonna go after you.
Yep.
That was a bad idea on my part. Yeah, Lamer, you like Desert Eagles and AR-15s.
I'm ready.
And he's asking me if I heard of a YouTuber named Demolition Ranch. I have seen some of that guy's stuff. It's a gun channel. It's one of these goofy guys. I mean, he's got millions of subscribers or something. Anyway, it's a big channel. But like most big channels, to get all those subs, he acts kind of stupid on most of his videos. Like he's like Linus Tech Tips with guns. And I can't watch goofy people. It's not my kind of thing. You know, I can't watch PewDiePie. I can't watch stuff like that.
We have them.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
We have them. Grenades out.
You know, the ones that act so goofy and fake. They're not genuine at all. It's tough to watch. It's cringe-worthy content.
Well, the worst part is they get a lot of traffic.
Here I come.
I'm sorry, you were cutting out there, Joe. What was that?
Oh, I said the worst part is they get a lot of the traffic too, which.
Oh, I mean, I understand why they do that. Yeah, they're trying to make some money. I don't fault them for it. I don't watch their content. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, Eris. Yeah, I've never seen Linus Tech Tips with guns. It was a comparison. It would be like the Demolition Ranch is like Linus Tech Tips, you know, for guns instead of for technology. So,
Man, works over.
yeah. Are you on my team this time, Joe?
I don't think so.
I see them. Holy hell, that was close.
You know what? We're going back to the machine pistols. Wasn't this the map that I said? We're gonna try it anyway. They're already on me though. I'm not gonna make it. They know I'm here. I can run fast with the pistols though. I'm just gonna run right at them.
Yeah.
No, stand a chance. Shit.
Yeah, I got somebody. I went all John Rambo on him. Just ran straight at him. And then I died. Okay.
Let's do this. Grenade!
I hit somebody with a grenade that time. And they still killed me.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you guys are laughing about my Linus Tech Tips comments, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Linus Tech Tips. But again, I don't hate the guy or anything. I just typically don't watch his videos.
No, no, no!
Yeah, Lamer, the difference about Demolition Ranch is some of his money he makes from YouTube and sponsors, he donates to animal shelters. You know, the guys that make a lot of money with YouTube, I mean, these guys that, you know, probably make, you know, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month from YouTube. Yeah, I'm sure they do good things with their money. They donate it to worthy causes. Again, the same thing with Linus Tech Tips, same thing with Demolition Ranch. I'm not criticizing the guy personally. I don't know them personally. I just don't watch the videos.
We can't lose. I see them. Here I come. Target spotted. Heads up! Rocket out!
Yeah. I'm not doing much better, Joe.
Shit, grenade!
Whatever it was you were about to say, yeah, somebody got me with a grenade. They didn't even know I was in that room. How did they throw that grenade at me?
Let's do this!
Yeah, Lamer, you need to watch more if you want some content regarding firearms, better channels. Not nearly as big as Demolition Ranch, but check out the AK Operators Union. That's great. If you like, he does a lot of stuff with AKs, obviously, because of the name of the channel, but ARs and other weapons. Sometimes he does bolt-action rifles, but it's a fellow, I think he's from Poland. He has a Eastern European accent, but he's an American citizen. He's actually a member of the Army, and he's a designated marksman, I think, in the Army. And he's a fantastic shot with these weapons. You want something a little more serious than just the goofiness that you get with Demolition Ranch. Just a suggestion there, Lamer. Yeah, nobody is going to vote for anything other than Team Deathmatch, Joe.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to vote. I was looking at some other thing by the time I went to vote, it switched.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll make this my last game.
Yeah.
So we've been on for going on about 2 hours now. I had some issues when I first started the stream. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I couldn't work YouTube. I had a stream that I scheduled for tomorrow morning for a patrons chat that I'm doing tomorrow morning. And then I was going to do this live stream tonight. This wasn't scheduled. So I create an event, a live event in the YouTube dashboard, and I go ahead and start streaming in OBS, and it's the chat with patrons tomorrow morning. You know, this thumbnail and everything. It's not me playing Ballistic Overkill. The title's all wrong.
Oh.
People are waiting in the other stream for me to play Ballistic Overkill, and I'm streaming, you know, in a different location on YouTube. So.
Yeah, I don't think you were on very long.
No, I mean, I knew right away. As soon as I started streaming, I knew it wasn't right.
I'm ready.
I'm a bit of a YouTube noob, even though I do a lot of stuff on YouTube.
Grenade!
I don't really do that many live streams, so And this new YouTube dashboard that they got, I really don't understand the layout of some of it. And their site seems slow now.
I was just gonna say, it seems to me most content providers don't seem to care for it very much, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get used to what you're used to as far as the location of everything, how to find everything. I mean, I get that part, but also it seems like everything in it is slow now. There, I guess. Websites in general, though, these days, it's like people don't even try to make websites that are fast and optimized.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
But I can complain about the internet and the modern web forever. I won't do that. Not on this stream.
Yeah.
Frag out.
Still need to do more with my Gopher site. I don't know if you saw that, Joe, where I decided to abandon. Decided to abandon HTTP sites altogether. I'm just going to start putting content on Gopher.
I'm not familiar with Gopher, I don't think.
Gopher is a different internet protocol. Then it started at the exact same time as HTTP back in 1991.
Yeah.
HTTP, of course, is your standard protocol for the World Wide Web. That's what people think about it. You view websites in a web browser. All those sites start with HTTP :
Yeah.
Yeah, they use that protocol. Gopher was a different protocol that started in 1991 as well. So Gopher sites start with Gopher : name of site. And in the early 90s, a lot of the sites you went to in the early 90s were Gopher sites. I mean, it was kind of a competitor. So occasionally you would go to sites that used the Gopher protocol, but it kind of died quickly. People adopted, the web, basically.
GOPHER, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I might know what you're saying. Oh, go hide behind the glass.
Yeah, well, I had to, because I was going to die for sure.
Yeah, then your buddy came out and got
Yeah. Yeah, I like how you still tried to shoot me even though I went behind the glass.
Well, I was rapid firing and you stepped back as I was already pulling the trigger.
Oh, okay. I was like, look at that. I'm trying to be cheap.
I get a little overly excited when I'm pulling the trigger.
Yeah. But yeah, Gopher is just a dead protocol. I mean, it's not, nobody really adopted it. Everybody went to the web. So after, the mid-90s, certainly by the end of the 90s, nobody made Gopher sites anymore. So. But in the last couple of years, you start hearing people complain about how slow modern websites are. And people are actually making sites using the Gopher protocol now. So I've been seeing more and more people do that, and I was like, I'll do it. So, on these Gopher sites, there's no images, no streaming video. I mean, it's basically all plain text. And everything loads instantly, and it's kind of nice, actually, if you don't need video.
I think I know what it's like, you said that. Yeah, because I do remember years ago there was something like that was non-graphical.
Yeah. And because it's not graphic, it's all plain text, you don't even need to load up a big bulky browser like Firefox or Chrome, which are going to eat up at least a gig of RAM just to load up some plain text. No, just do it in the terminal.
Well, and I was going to say that's kind of what it almost reminded you of. When the terminal was so boring. Kind of.
Yeah, so the old Lynx web browser, which is what my terminal web browser that I've been using forever, Lynx, Lynx.
Yep.
Lynx also started in 1991, the same year that HTTP and Gopher started. So it supports both protocols. So you can use Lynx to view the web. You can also use it to view Gopher sites. So.
It comes back to the old sometimes. I mean, it's just, when you really think about it, it's no different than these games. I mean,
Yeah.
these video cards and everything else, it's got it so powerful because of the
Speaking of, yeah,
realistic.
everything that's old, yeah, is new again, right? It just keeps coming back. Retro gaming is so popular. Matter of fact, the other day I bought a game on Steam, and I don't game, but I saw a game. Actually, somebody recommended it to me. It was Chris Ware. We were chatting on the IRC channel.
Let's do this!
And I mentioned something about I like old style games, Duke Nukem style games, and he mentioned Ion Maiden, a game I'd never heard of. And it's a modern game, but it has that Duke Nukem kind of feel, the graphics and everything, the gameplay.
Yeah.
And why would I buy a game in 2019 that looks like it was made in 1999? You know, but for nostalgia, you know, I like those games. You know, I like the old Doom games, the old Quake games, Wolfenstein. Those.
And there are a lot of people that used to like these games, or old, you know. Well, look at Mario Bros. How popular that's come back again.
Oh yeah.
With the Wii and the Nintendos and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Who'd ever thought? You know,
I mean, racing games. Will anything ever be as popular as Mario Kart?
Yeah, I don't know.
Matter of fact, free and open source software. I mean, what is our favorite game? Super Tux Kart. I mean, has been for years. Everybody loves Super. It's basically Mario Kart. It's just a free and open source version. And instead of Mario and Luigi driving around, you know, you got a penguin and the BSD demon driving carts.
Years ago, we went to Hawaii, and there was you know, how you played the Tetris or all these different games, even Mario or whatever they had. They were the stand-up gaming machines, you know, the arcade type machines. And there was one that was this kind of, I don't even remember what it was called. It was like a jungle. He wasn't Tarzan, but it reminded me of something like that. It was a really fun game. It was simplistic, and it was just
a jungle game.
Huh?
Was it 2D?
Say again?
Was it a 2D game? Two-dimensional?
Well, yeah, most of them back then were. You had.
Yeah. It wasn't a Pitfall, was it? Was it called Pitfall?
Let's do this!
Old game that was like you swinging on vines, going over like pits, and were alligators in the pits and stuff like that.
Found them. Target down.
Somebody snuck up on me.
Targets.
Yeah, Mitchell says the Mosaic browser was how he learned the web. Yeah, Mosaic was really the original web browser until Netscape came out a few years later and blew up. Yeah, JavaScript killed the web. I agree, Eris. Alright, I think that's going to be the last game for me there, Joe. Let me log out here. That was fun. I did get a lot better. The fact that we sat there for a couple hours and played, that was not the worst I've ever played. Not even close. That wasn't bad. Let's see. Yeah, Edwin, is Linus Tech Tips the show that Derek is doing a parody of? I don't watch enough Linus Tech Tips to really parody Linus. Sorry. And I don't do parodies typically.
I haven't heard a word you said since we started. It's like all of a sudden, I don't know if my Discord cut out or what happened.
Well, I logged out of the game, but
oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No. But it looks like the YouTube chat is still hearing me, so I don't know if it's a problem on my end. Might be your end.
Well, are you still in? You're still in Discord?
Yeah. I'm still in Discord.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We must be if we're talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just reading some of the YouTube chat here. Yeah, I guess that something was wrong on your end because you had been silent for a little while. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's not a problem. I was just reading some of the questions here. One of the guys in the chat was asking, am I doing a parody of Linus Tech Tips, or is it Switch to Linux that I'm parodying? I'm not sure. Switch to Linux does not talk robotic or repeat himself. No, that's just me. That's not Switch to Linux. Yeah. So if I'm doing a parody, it's just of myself. Me and Switch, we don't talk anything alike. He kind of has a higher pitched kind of voice. Talks a little faster than me. I talk a little lower, a little slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing alike, so I don't know how you... yeah, Eris, you like the accent, yeah.
Southern drawl. No, not really. Not really. It's Southern, but it's not the drawl.
No, not as bad as it could be. It's different in different parts of, it's like the Southern accent. Well, what part of the South are you in?
Well, I've been told, by people I have accent too. Well, yeah, I'm from Chicago and originally, and here I'm in Wisconsin. So I used to hear, even now I still hear it. Oh, they can hear the Chicago accent. And yet when I go back to Chicago now and talk to people that know me, they say, oh, I can hear the Wisconsin accent now.
Yeah.
It's like,
I get the Chicago accent a little bit from you, Joe, but it's not that noticeable.
No. Well,
it really isn't. So,
what really gives it away is when I get upset, then the Italian in me, you can start to hear it more.
Right.
So if I get worked up about something, I tend to start sounding more of my nationality than anything else.
Although, I say, I personally hear a little bit of the Chicago accent. Eris in the chat says he hears the Wisconsin in it. So
yeah. Well, what's funny is because when we came up, well, like what I just said now, my mother always just, instead of because, my mother would say because or have yous. It's like all the different words. Well, then when you live up here for 30 years and then we say, hey, what do you think of that? Did you like whatever? So then you go, you betcha. And it's like, what's you betcha? It's like, so, but I think it's like anything else you dip. Hey, you got double camera views there, huh?
Yeah, I switched scenes here since I closed out Steam. There was no sense in staring at my empty desktop. So I switched to the YouTube chat here. And then, of course, I've got the camera scenes here.
Yeah, I've never seen your setup like that before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always had a couple of cameras, but I normally don't show two different cameras in the same scene. So I set this up the other day because I get a lot of people asking me about the monitors. Most people have never actually seen my setup. So plugging in the second monitor, people actually, oh yeah, he's on 3 monitors. Now I understand why he's looking right sometimes when he's doing something or he's looking left. Just like, I've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
But
I definitely do miss the multi monitors, and I kind of did it for the very reason you had mentioned, was to keep this is like a 9.5 by 10 room, man, and to keep especially if I start up the other machine and the other, it's a lot of heat in here, and then also to run it. I thought, I'll run the 2 machines on here, but man, when you're doing multiple processes like what we're doing here.
That's another thing I've told people is the room I record in, this room I'm in, is a small room. And that's another thing people ask about, like the camera angles, why the camera is off to the side. It's because my 3 monitors, there's not room for a camera behind this monitor. There's a wall here. This room is 12 by 12 probably. It is a very small room to have all this computer equipment, the camera, lights. It's kind of scrunched up, this space.
I actually have a fan under my desk here. I've got like a curved desk that I sit at, and then I've got 2 extensions that run out to the sides, and I actually have a fan underneath one over here in front of the vent. So like if I have the air conditioning running and it ever gets a little warm in here in the summer, I can turn the fan on to help circulate the air a little more. But Yeah, you get multiple monitors, you get multiple machines, and you always seem to have that laptop going in the background too. I noticed, and so even that throw off quite a bit of heat.
It'll put off a little heat. The big thing that puts off heat though is the monitors, and in this small room, it gets warm in here, and in Louisiana right now it's starting to get warm. In another month, it'll be 100 degrees probably every day for 3 months straight. For highs. And also in this room, there's no trees or anything in the yard behind this particular wall. It's going to get very warm in this room. I'm going to have to do something.
Yes. Well, the funny thing is, I will say this much, though. The 34-inch monitor, I think, throws less heat than the other monitors, any of the monitors I had in here before. I was kind of surprised at that.
Yeah, Vladimir says Southern USA is easiest for you to understand. Yeah, somebody maybe that is not a native English speaker. Maybe we're Southerners are a little easier to understand. We typically talk a little slower. We don't get in a hurry to say something where other accents here in the U.S. They speak rather fast, and if you're struggling to understand the English language, that can be a challenge.
Yeah.
For example, I know enough Spanish, to understand, pick out a word here or there, but like a native Spanish speaker, like a Mexican starts talking Spanish to another Mexican, they speak like a mile a minute, and you can't pick out anything because they talk so fast. Completely different than English speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, DT, have you always lived in Louisiana? No, I've lived in other states. Lived in Ohio for a little while. Lived in Texas. Born in Louisiana. Keep coming back to it. Don't know why. Yeah, and Jessica, it's this 12 by 12 room, this very small room I'm in. Is it a bedroom? It is. Yeah, it would be like a bedroom in a house, but it's still a small room. It's not even for a bedroom, but there is a single bed here, like a guest bedroom. It's originally what it was going to be before I transferred it into all this.
Yeah, the room that I'm in was my boys' bedroom. We used to have bunk beds in here for them. And it's smaller than the room you're saying yours is. This is 9, like I said, 9.5 by 10. And
9. Yeah, I mean it's slightly bigger than this one. Yeah, there's a lot of. If I didn't have the 3 monitors and this big desk to hold the monitor, this is an L-shaped desk too. This is another thing. It's hard to see on camera without the 2 angles. Yeah, so, I mean this takes up just where I'm at. The desk, everything sitting on it, the tower, the monitors, everything you guys can see in frame. That's a quarter of this room. So.
Yeah. That's kind of what this is, because I have a 4-foot corner desk, which, if you can imagine, that goes back quite deep to the center line from it. Then I have a 4-foot desk to the left, and now I have a 4-foot desk to the right. I used to have a 5-foot to the right.
Yeah.
So it's more desk than I need. I just pile more stuff on it.
Yeah, Edwin, maybe he's poking fun at Linux YouTubers in general because he laughs a little when he repeats something or says something dumb on purpose. I guess the facade slips.
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of any Linux YouTubers. Definitely not switch to Linux, which we've already mentioned. I don't really make fun of other content creators. I guess I've poked a little fun at Linus Tech Tips tonight, but not Linux YouTubers. No, I haven't.
No.
Although I guess I could. I mean, some of these guys, I watch enough of their content. I kind of know their mannerisms. I could make some good parody videos. I guarantee you I could make a very good Brian Lunduke parody if I wanted to. I've watched enough of Brian's stuff. I guess because of the look, maybe I could do some Luke Smith. You guys often compare me and Luke. But I wouldn't do that. It's not my kind of video.
No. Mm-mm. No,
yeah.
Well, looks like the stream went lagged for a second there.
Looks good here in OBS, but I'm not monitoring it on YouTube. So.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go
Anyway,
ahead, Joe.
I mean, you got to be able to poke a little fun at each other once in a while, whatever. And it's just it's all in good fun. And that's one of the things I think that I've liked about this community in general is because, like I said, I belong to I say belong. I had been very involved in the reseller type thing because I have a resale business and also along with my computer stuff. And there was. It's like a lot of the typical things, the drama and whatever, and there's none of that here. This has been a blast. I mean, everybody's willing to help you, and yeah. And if we poke a little fun, we know it's fun. I mean, so. And Michael, God love him. Michael, we're always teasing him, so but he makes it so easy.
Yeah, and people like to make fun of Ryan sometimes too.
Yeah. So you're not going to Self this year, are you, Derek?
I don't plan on it, no.
Yeah. I'm going to see if I can go, but I need to get back here definitely for the Sunday, which is the last day of it, because along with being Father's Day, it's also my grandson's birthday, and I just have a hard time with missing that. So
yeah, but I really can't make it. So
yeah,
I would like to. I thought about it, and it's like, we'll catch another one sometime down the road.
Yeah, I know the reason I'm kind of bent on going, like a lot of people too, is, I mean, how often, is there going to be an opportunity maybe like with Zeb coming over, or I don't know if I'd ever get over that way, but.
Right. Yeah, you want to be able to hang out with Zeb in case you never get over to the UK.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool, and it sounds like a few of the guys are planning on going, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be easier for me to go to something like Southeast Linux Fest, being in. Where are they holding it this year? Is it still in North Carolina?
Yeah.
I think that's where it was last year. I don't know if they hold it in the same venue every year.
It sounds like it is, from what I understand.
Okay.
It sounds like it's to the airport and all that. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not terribly close to me. I mean,
well,
there's a distance involved. Really. Yeah, it's not terribly close to you either. Actually, it's probably about the same distance from both of us.
Yeah.
It would probably, like if I had to drive it.
You don't have a lot of things that go on down in your area, unless they're right in New Orleans. You don't typically see a lot of stuff going on too much in that neck of the woods down there, right?
As far as like Linux related stuff?
Well, I mean, even any events of different things. I mean, I used to be, again, when I was a builder, remodeler and stuff, I don't ever, either you were in Florida or you were in Chicago or possibly New York or California, you're always in the corners of the state somewhere.
Right. Well, yeah, if you're going to hold something in this state as far as some kind of big event, big convention, it's going to be in New Orleans, because why wouldn't you hold it in New Orleans? It's kind of a party town. You would go out of your way to hold something in New Orleans compared to really anywhere else in the world, practically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you watch the NFL, Joe. How many Super Bowls happen in New Orleans? It's like every 4 years. Why is it going on in New Orleans? It's because the NFL knows everybody wants to go to New Orleans, to Bourbon Street, and to the party. So yeah, you get a lot of those kind of conventions down there. A lot of big centers, convention centers. Of course, hotels everywhere.
Well, the beauty of Chicago is, I mean, originally being from there, the funny thing is I worked for the city of Chicago for quite a few years, and then, O'Hare, I was always 15 minutes from O'Hare, and I can't count on one hand how many times I flew out of there. When I moved up to Wisconsin, I was flying out of there forever, constantly, especially when my father and mother moved south. But I tend to go down there, like when I became a builder remodeler, I would be down there for, remodelers conventions, or I'd be down. There's always some event that was drawing me back down there. So, but it's nice now because it's still driving distance, So
yeah, I was going to say, if I had to drive to Charlotte, for example, if that's where Self is taking place this year, I'm not sure offhand, but yeah, it would probably be like a 12-hour drive for me to get there. So I'd have to fly, right? I'm not driving that far.
Yeah.
So there's some expense involved, but really for me, it's more than the expense. It would be having to take some time from work for for such a thing.
Right.
And I've already taken my vacation this year. You know, my actual paid vacation. So.
Well, you know, the other thing too is, I don't know if you have it down. I haven't looked, but in your area, but there's that airline, that small airline that's been really starting to grow called Allegiant, and they're flying all different places. And I think if I'm not mistaken, they might fly to Charlotte. I need to check that because
I'm not sure.
That airport's really close. I don't even have to go to Chicago for that. I go to Rockford, Illinois, and I can fly out of there.
Yeah.
Or Madison too. Madison's starting to fly more places now too. So. And
yeah,
you can fly anywhere. It seems like for a couple $100 on that airline.
Yeah, the local airport here in my city, most of the stuff flying out of here is Delta.
Yeah.
Actually, Delta started here. Well, so much of that is Delta here.
I just saw Sleepy Events. He says, sounds like Zeb will be the star attraction this year. He probably is to some extent.
And of course, strangely enough, even though, like, if I was going to take a flight to Charlotte, even though I want to go east, you know, the plane that leaves here is going to first go over to Dallas Fort Worth probably, and then I'm going to have to change over there to a different flight.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird how they do that, you know. Yeah,
you'll do that too. I stopped over once in Charlotte, and it was like a race from one end of the airport to the other, and then you get on the other plane again. So I never got to even see anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, well, Charlotte's kind of more of a hub too, isn't it? Then
it is a bit, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how often you fly different places.
No, never really.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I like driving, you know, as long as it's not some crazy distance. Heck, years ago, I made a trip one time just because I wasn't working at the time. It was right after college. I needed to take a trip to Sacramento from where I'm at now. And then I drove 27 hours.
Wow.
And that was, you know, when you're younger, I guess, okay. It took me a couple of days, obviously. I did sleep along the way, but now I would never do that. We'll fly.
Is the airport by you then more like a regional airport, or is it still a good size?
Well, it's a small airport, but I mean, yeah, big flights do. Big planes will actually land here.
Yeah.
Typically, what'll end up happening is, you know, you'll end up in Dallas or Atlanta, and then you'll get on a bigger plane, you know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that we have a little regional airport here where I live, but it's not really for commercial flights and more for privates, and it will land a big airplane. The reason I know that is because we've had Air Force One here a couple of times.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's you know, pretty good. I mean, for this kind of the town I live in, the city here is we probably have about 100,000 people. You know, it's not a.
It's bigger than my city. I'm at 60 some odd thousand.
And the airport really is the only airport for an hour and a half in any direction of note. So yeah, there's some traffic that goes through it.
So are you still on, not to change subjects here, but are you still on Arco too, it looks like maybe?
Yeah, I installed Arco with the Awesome window manager, but I haven't done anything with Awesome yet. I installed Qtile because I had all my Qtile configs already saved on GitLab.
Yeah.
But I installed the Awesome window manager edition of Arco because I eventually plan to switch to the Awesome window manager for a little while for purposes of the channel. Check it out. So that's why I went with that.
Well, I don't know what possessed me as much as I am not a huge GNOME fan I'll tell you what happened. When I put the 580 in here and I messed up, which I made that announcement that I did the new mistake where I didn't pull my old NVIDIA drivers out. I just thought I disabled them, and then trying to pull them out, I literally trashed my Mint distro. Yeah. So
well,
I thought, you know what, I'll reinstall it. Well, then I tried Ubuntu, and then I thought I'd try Pop! OS. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back to Mint because I really like it. But then what I finally did is that second SSD that's been sitting in there forever, I loaded Pop! OS on that. So,
well, I mentioned I had a similar problem when I finally plugged in my IC dock. You know, I'd had this machine 2 weeks before I finally decided to plug in my IC dock with all my extra drives with 6 different Linux distributions installed on those 6 different drives. But of course, all of them I installed the NVIDIA proprietary drivers on. Well, I'm not running an NVIDIA card now, so I had some issues with those too.
You know what I don't get too is why one of the things that I noticed with the Ubuntu distro, and I'm going to assume it's the same with Pop! OS because I haven't spent quite as much time on that as I did even the Ubuntu 1904. But the capability, like I could plug in my iPhone into my computer and it'll recognize it right away. I can get to the folder on there and look at all the files on there, whatever. But a lot of these distros don't have that yet. I know that MX has it too, but I was really surprised to see that Ubuntu had it. And the funny thing is you know how EB is. EB wouldn't be himself if he wasn't, really beaten down on some of these distros. And here the other day I had to laugh because he did a live stream and with Zeb and Garth and them guys and Silent. And he's talking about he's really trashing Ubuntu 1904. And then Zeb says, well, what are you running, a 12-year-old laptop or whatever he's running? He goes, well, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I had 1904 on here, and it was blasting. It was fast. So is Pop! OS.
Yeah. Well, the new version of GNOME is definitely faster than some of the older ones. Noticeably faster.
Yeah. I don't think I could ever still use GNOME as a daily driver, though. It's just too many quirks with it trying to, I like to be able to just really tweak a system, and you have so many limitations with it. But I think they have it as a secondary driver just to, play around with and do certain things on it or whatever. It'd probably be okay. But I don't know. It's still not for me, but I just figure I hadn't been on it in so long. Maybe it's time to play with it a little more. But in Pop! OS, they did agree that Pop! OS has really done it. It's a nice job what System 76 has done with it. So.
Yeah, people keep asking me to take a look at the new Pop! OS on the channel. Since I did the 1904 video last week, I really haven't made any content on the channel because I've been very busy at work. That's why this live stream, is it really content? Me losing at Ballistic Overkill? Probably not, but
I haven't really had something different, no?
Yeah. But I do need to take a look at Pop! OS at some point if I get a chance. I'm not sure if I will.
Well, I like the way you did that last one when you did the 6 of them like that. I mean, that was, when the flavors came out, I thought that was, for a quick overview of each one, I thought that was perfectly fine.
Oh, I thought it was great too. It was something different. It's not something you're going to see too many people do. So it's a different kind of, because it's the same old kind of tired format. Everybody's taking a look at the new Ubuntu every time it comes out. It's like, you know what? We're going to do something a little different.
Yeah.
Also, instead of making 6 different videos about those 6 different distros, let's just make one. We'll just do them all at the same time.
And I think you tend to do this a little bit too. I think a little bit more than some guys. But I mentioned, I think on one of the streams recently, or maybe it was last week on Biddle, I don't know, about IG. One of the things I like about when he does his reviews, he will look at the features, and then if there's something about the features he really likes, he'll say it. If there's something about them that isn't working quite right, because it sounds like he takes his time to go through at some level without dragging the video on for each feature. And you kind of do that too, I think, on some of your videos. There's some that, you kind of just do an overview, and that's fine. There's some of them that's all you need to do. But, if you really want to take a look at one and do a really nice review, to kind of give a sense of the so-called, some of the pros and cons as a quick, what do I want to say, glaze over or whatever,
Right.
I think that's perfectly fine. The ones that I have trouble with, yes, I understand there's some providers that may have, impairments where they can't speak, so they'll do the music and then just click around or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them that do it just because, I hate to say it, they're lazy, I think, too. So.
Yeah, the e-readers, the e-voice stuff, turn that off.
Yeah. So
it would be better, if you were going to do the computer voice, it would be better if you just didn't have any voice at all. It just put some text on the screen or something. I don't like that either, but it's better than the robotic voice. So
absolutely. I have to watch your taking no account video. I missed that the other day. I have to watch that too.
You didn't miss too much because I really didn't have time to record it this week. Yes, there's one out. That was just me live streaming last night for a couple hours. I did cover some news, but
okay.
It was a bit different.
Yeah.
Mainly because I was running out of time to do anything this week. Like I said, I really didn't do any of my typical pre-recorded kind of content this week. The only thing I did was a couple of live streams, these kind of impromptu live streams.
Well, I really have a question for you. With the 5.0 kernel and up, and a lot of the changes that have happened recently, what are your thoughts in that? From, like we all made our little predictions at the end of the year, and I always said I thought that Linux was going to make some huge advancements this year at some level, somewhere, whether it was from corporate right down to desktop. And I kind of feel like there are some things happening like that. I'm just wondering if you agree with that.
That Linux is making big advances. Are you talking about the year of the Linux desktop, Joe? Is that where we're going?
No, not necessarily the year of Linux desktop, but just Linux moving forward. And then, like with just as an example, the drivers alone being baked into the kernels for these graphics cards and things like that. It doesn't seem like much, but everybody that has constantly complained about that, and now it does make a big difference that, you don't necessarily have to reach out for it.
I think overall, the open source movement is gaining steam. It's not just Linux. It is just like people get it now. Companies get it. Why did Intel open source their drivers? Same reason AMD just open sourced all their drivers, and maybe NVIDIA will get around to it at some point. Who knows? Microsoft is starting to open source a lot of what they do. Not everything, obviously, but Microsoft is starting. So, the open source movement, we kind of won, right? People get it now.
Yeah.
Where 10 years ago, there were still people that just didn't understand. A lot of Microsoft would never be doing what they were doing now 10 years ago. Certainly not 20 years ago. Now they realize they have to do more open source stuff just to compete, just to survive, really. So yeah, it goes beyond just Linux, but obviously Linux benefits from that.
Oh, and to me, I get really.
And we got some static in the Discord chat. Looks like somebody was trying to join us here in the Discord chat.
Yeah, he's in there. He's got mic issues. You know how Discord can be.
Yeah. He muted his mic.
I'm very excited though to see where some of the things are. One of the things that was pointed out, which I hadn't, and I don't remember who it was now. It's been in the last week or two. The discussion about snaps, and more so snaps. They're always picking on snaps. It seems like more than flat packs, but one of the thoughts about it behind it, which this is kind of a scary thought to me, is that they're thinking, well, everything's going to go to snaps, and then eventually they're going to try to license things, and then if you don't pay the license, they're going to start shutting the snaps down. Well, if that's what's running the whole Linux thing, the whole thought is that, this stuff will never happen because, it's open source, and, it's supposed to be, nobody could try to proprietize it. Well, if you're going to turn around and start putting licenses on it and then shutting parts of it down or shutting the capability of it down, that is proprietizing it as far as I'm concerned. And so I kind of thought, well, is that just an extremist view, or is that where this potentially could go? Because there's how the rumor mill goes.
Yeah, well, I think some of that kind of stuff is nonsense as far as like any software that's out there that's released under a free license. So we're talking the GPL, of course, MIT, BSD, Apache license. Yeah, you can't just all of a sudden one day slap a proprietary license on it. You can, but guess what? The program that existed before you did that is still open source. Anybody that has it still has a right to use that as free and open source software, to repackage it, fork it, rename it, redistribute it, whatever they want to do with it. So it's like if the Linux kernel team decided they were going to make the Linux kernel closed source and license it under some proprietary license tomorrow. The Linux kernel we all have on our machines right now is still licensed under the GPL. We have it. We just take it, fork it. We keep developing a free Linux kernel. And, the closed source Linux kernel can do whatever they want. So you can't just take it back. What we already have can't be taken from us, if that makes sense.
Open source is the future.
But anytime you hear, and again, I don't buy into all the rumor mill stuff or whatever, and you got to kind of just sit back and wait and see for different things. But again, maybe it's coming from the non-trusting side I have with Microsoft and, all the things that have happened and the fact that all of a sudden they're so huggy with us. But, so I get it. I just worry that this has been the first time, I think, in years for anything. Think about, the fuel that, that heats and cools your house, or the fuel for your cars, or your telephone bill, or your electricity, whatever. You don't have a choice with that stuff. This is the first thing that's come along that you really have a choice with. And yeah, maybe it's not perfect, but it's to me, if you compare this to when, like back in the 90s, when I got on my very first Windows 3.0 computer, I got it, I did my tasks and whatever. Most of it was word processing, whatever. Well, of course, now we're more advanced than that. And I think Linux is still much more than it's portrayed to be than, if that's all you're doing is just basic tasks. No, you yourself are seeing it right here. You from the pudding right there, Derek, and a lot of the other guys with, between the video editing and the streaming, it's a lot more than that. And then I wish they would give it more credit for that sometimes. But either way, it's nice to have something that you have a choice with.
Right.
That somebody's going to take it away.
I haven't run Windows in like 11 years. I have not had a machine of mine that had Microsoft Windows on it in like 11 or 12 years. I haven't bought a machine with Windows installed on it going back longer than that. So the idea that you can't do whatever it is you want to do in Linux is absurd.
Right.
Windows to me feels like Microsoft is being that like clingy like grandma, like always trying to like hug you and like share your information shit.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft, you agree to it with Microsoft, though. You can't complain about Microsoft spying on you and getting all your information when you explicitly agree to that. When you install Windows or end user license agreement, you get that EULA. You have to agree to it. Most people don't take the time to read that document, but you have to scroll to the end of it and click, yeah, I agree to this. That's what you agreed to.
That's the same with pretty much any Silicon Valley company. It's like the normal now. It's stupid.
Well, it's always been the normal, but it's becoming... Like I said, I think it's becoming less normal now with open source software. We're starting to see more people embrace that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things will still be closed source. I think some things kind of have to be closed source for example, cloud services. You're never going to see them become completely open for security reasons. They would probably fear.
But the thing is about those sort of services, how do you know it's secure if you don't see the source code?
Yeah, but then again, they don't want everybody seeing the source code and trying to hack it. I get the arguments, though. I get their arguments, but I also would rather it be open source. Don't get me wrong. I'm a proponent of everything being open source software, but I understand why some of those guys, they'll be the last holdouts to go around to being open source.
I understand why they do it, and I completely agree with them on the reasons, but there's also open source programs that are just like amazingly secure.
Yeah, well, most open source programs, especially the bigger ones, there's so many eyeballs on it that are looking at the code. Yeah, of course they're going to be more secure.
I like SketchUp for design work, and it's probably SketchUp 8 that you could run within Wine or something like that. but there's that's many generations behind. So I have the one Windows machine here that I said before I use strictly for my QuickBooks, and if I had the time to learn GNU Cache, which I could make the time, but the other side of the coin is I spent years learning the accounting I have, and I don't know how that would all integrate with my accountant and all that stuff. So that's why I choose to leave that machine offline. I go specifically to one or two sites. We did talk about that, like with Dave when we were on Biddle the one time on how to handle that stuff. But I do use SketchUp on there from time to time too. Other than that, I would never have a Windows machine again if that was the case.
I know people who completely rely on GNU Cache.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah, it's great software.
Yeah, there's businesses here, but the problem is even if I set it up, which it doesn't look like it would be too bad, you basically have to build your chart of accounts and everything, and that's fine. That's easy to do, I think.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say easy, but it's not as difficult as it would seem. But it's the integration with the accountant. Right now, I drop everything, I do a backup on my flash drive, I take it to him, and that's all I bring there, and a couple of papers in an envelope, and I plug it in, and he basically imports it, and he can see everything he needs to see, makes a change, I come back. He can't access my computer, but he does whatever he has to do. I come back, I update it, and boom, I don't know how we would do this otherwise with GNU Cache. I guess that's something I'd have to find out more about.
I don't know. I haven't used that software personally, but they should probably insert some sort of feature that like converts it to a known software, like whatever anybody uses.
My understanding is there is a feature in there to save it in one of the QuickBooks files formats, but I still don't know how that would be for importing. Again, it's homework. I see somebody mention Home Bank, and I have seen that, but Home Bank I still think is more like the personal side, where GNU Cache is more the corporate side.
And to be honest, Joe, if it's important work, I would just keep using QuickBooks because it's the same reason why so many people stick with Microsoft Office. Yes, you can use LibreOffice and save in the proprietary Microsoft formats, but it's not 100% compatible, right? You open up that word processing document and the formatting is just all wrong, or that presentation document, especially I've seen, it just doesn't look right. Things are kind of wonky.
I mean, there's always one, but there's also the thing is with introducing Windows into a Linux system that is kind of off.
I would not do that. I would not risk that. I've got 3 businesses that I'm accounting for in my home.
Yeah.
I just use
an awful risk if something happened with that to lose that stuff. So that's why I went back. I looked at it as old school. I went back to old school, as if the internet didn't exist. I keep this offline. The internet is there. If I have to access specific data on specific sites, there's only 1 or 2 that I go to, and I know they're secure because of what they are. That's fine. I turn it on, get this data I have to, and I turn the internet back off. And I'm literally not on there hardly at all. Truthfully, I could probably. That's why I mentioned the monitor about running 2 machines. If the beauty of being able to turn it on, yes, I can copy and paste stuff if I have to. Other than that, if I booted up Windows on one part of the screen and Linux on the other, and I needed to look at the data and just whatever manually enter it, I could, but it's not workflow efficient to do it that way.
I know people that like Emil3. I don't know, not many people know him, but he's still a pretty good like YouTuber. He has 2 of the same computer, one for Linux, one for Windows, and he just uses a KVM switch to switch between them.
Yeah, well, the newer monitors like this one, you don't need the switch. You just need to have a DisplayPort hookup, and that's it.
Yeah, but he does a lot of keyboard and mouse stuff, all with one keyboard and mouse, and just switches between them, which is pretty nice.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're gonna run Windows software, just have a Windows partition. It's like the gamers that complain about Windows only games. Just accept the fact that if you have to play that game and it's Windows only, you got to run Windows. Run Windows in a VM if it works in a VM and you have the hardware to do that. Or just have a dual boot. I mean, dual booting is not the worst thing in the world to do.
I mean, with a if you have a desktop, you could always just put another SSD or hard drive in and and boot to the Linux partition and use grub to switch between them, and you will never have to worry about Windows booting, messing anything up ever again.
Yeah, if you're going to dual boot, definitely have a second drive for Windows.
Yeah, my little
if you can.
My other little cube workstation that I have in the other room, I have a Windows drive on that. Actually, that has Windows 10. I've mentioned it before. I built that to sell it, and I decided to keep it. And then I've got Linux on the other one, and those are two separate drives. And the secondary drive in here that I got Pop West on to be my original Windows drive in my 2013 machine. So
well, guys, I
would never recommend dual booting on the same drive.
No, never. Not with Windows. With Linux, really introducing a Windows partition. No.
Well, even Linux, though, you know yourself, if you don't partition it right yourself, or if you just do, most people who don't know how, just, install alongside, that can screw up even if you partition it, if you don't do it right, you can screw up the grub loader on.
Oh, no. It can do that, Joe, but this, Windows is definitely going to do that. If you partition a drive with Windows is going to get rid of grub.
I mean, you could always use the Windows partition manager, but I don't see why you would want to.
No.
Nah, just have everything on a separate drive. Drives are so cheap these days. SSDs, the price of the cheap SSDs is so ridiculously cheap.
I mean, even if you have like a Macintosh or something, they're literally trivial to dual boot with Linux.
Yeah.
But it's getting drivers and stuff working. That's the problem with the Macintoshes.
Yeah. Well, guys, I do need to end the stream. It is 11:30 here, and I do need to get to bed. I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, so...
All right, Derek. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me, Joe and Linz. Yeah.
I just meme.
All right. And Joe, maybe the next time we play Ballistic Overkill, maybe we'll both be a little better now that we've had a couple hours of practice.
Of dying, really?
Of a lot of well, you know what? I don't know who got killed more, me or Joe. It was pretty bad on both our parts. But.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like Rocco said. I enjoy it. I wish I could play better, sure, but I never was good at shooter games. I tend to get, as you start shooting, I get kind of excited, and then the hands move fast, whatever. But I enjoy it, I think, a lot because you don't see a lot of trash talking going on. I mean, we have fun. I'm not talking about the same thing with razzing each other. I'm talking about where you used to go on the Xbox, and there were these guys with their, what do they call them, where they have a group of people or whatever, and
party.
Yeah, or whatever it was, and oh my God, it's like you had to meet certain standards. It was just awful. So the main thing is, like Rocco said, have fun, and we have fun, good or bad.
just like anything in life, you have to fail and learn from your mistakes to do better.
Yeah. Very true. All right, guys. Well, let me jump off. Thanks for hanging out.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Derek. Take care.
All right. See you. All right. Let's see.
See you, Lindsay.
If I can get out of Discord here. Of course, thanks to everybody that's still hanging out in the chat. Some of you guys hung out for a little bit of that. Of course, after playing Ballistic Overkill, me and Joe and Linz joined us there for a little bit. Just a impromptu kind of hangout. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Friday evening. Again, it's just me playing a little Ballistic Overkill, testing out the new machine a little bit. Before I go, I'll thank these guys: Ansem, Carlos, Chris, Douglas, Dylan, Leo, Rob, Robert, Tony. They are the producers of the show, my highest tiered patrons over on Patreon. Also brought to you by all those ladies and gentlemen, all those names you see on the screen that help support my work over on Patreon. If you'd like to support my work, please consider doing so. You'll find me at DistroTube over on Patreon. All right, guys. Peace.